For our presentation, we will be introducing the intervention of benchmarking utilized by Aerospace United Systems by Desiree Johnson and Stephanie Suddeth. Johnson & Suddeth Organizational Development Firm have over 30 years of experience in helping corporations navigate through times of change in their business. As OD professionals, we have the core competencies needed to help firms through their change management: good communication skills, proven history of OD concept and diagnosis, facilitating change management and consultation processes, and facilitating client capability and lasting interventions and implementations. Our agenda for the following slides will include our introduction to the organization and situation, and our ethical concerns before entering into contract. Following, we will cover the organizational development process for the entry, startup, assessment and feedback, timeline, the action plan, the intervention, which is benchmarking, evaluation, adaptation, separation, and then the conclusion. Afterwards, we will cover the summary and references. As an organizational development firm, we were hired by Aerospace United Systems. According to the new general manager hired 6 months ago, their receiving department was in need of some change management and process improvements. On his many walkthroughs of the department, he noticed the lack of organization of inventory, which had led to some $150,000 parts being misplaced or lost. This had cost the company dearly. With the receiving department lacking technological development, tool inventory could possibly sometimes take 5 to 10 days on average to be received. Since this time frame was not built into the AUS manufacturing timeline, many important milestones and completion dates were missed, and therefore the new general manager knew he needed help to initiate lasting, continuous process improvements in this department.
The full OD process should take about 14 weeks ideally. Our team met with the GM in the first week and agreed to enter into a contract. We spent the following 2 weeks observing the organization's structure, target department, and its different shifts. In week 4, we reviewed our assessments and created an action plan, after which we gave our feedback and introduced our plan of action in a meeting with the GM and department supervisors. We allotted 3 weeks to allow multiple shifts observations of the competitors' processing. Because we want to ensure we are making a permanent change to the department's processes, we gave 2 weeks for training and implementation of the new structure on all shifts. In week 13, we evaluated the changes and progression of the updated process. The last week, we met with the organization's leadership team for an overview of changes and to train on ways to support adoption of the plan to maintain the positive changes that we implemented. Based on J&S OD firms' ethical standards, before entering into a contract, we always consider who the potential client is, confidentiality standards, and the potential relationship of our field of expertise and the boundaries of the organization. Prior to the contract meeting, we reviewed all permanent information with regards to business history, annual reports, and online information of aerospace. After meeting with the general manager and securing an understanding of our standard operation, practices, and the overall expectation, a contract was initiated. J&S firm assessed the organization by utilizing a series of performance assessments and observations. We held group interviews with team leads. We asked shift management to complete productivity assessments, as well as multiple observations of different department shifts. Because it is best to have a diverse sampling of range by experience, we wanted to include employees from all teams. This was done because every shift is run differently, which proved to be part of the overall issue.
The action plan's goals is to streamline Aerospace United Systems receiving department processes and part shortage. The strategy is to utilize benchmarking to streamline the process. The tactic is to identify process improvements and part shortage solutions and implement solutions based on benchmarking intervention. The team lead is the receiving lead. Step number 1 and 2, observe receiving department and the kitting department and manufacturing line. Steps 3 through 8 is to set individual interviews up or group interviews. Step 9 and 10 is to analyze the results of the observations and or the interviews. Step number 11 is to create a detailed PowerPoint presentation of the observation and interview results. Step 12, schedule a meeting with the general manager supervisors to discuss the results and input. Steps 13 and 14 is to present the PowerPoint to the organization in Group A and Group B format.
Process intervention. We chose external benchmarking because it is a process intervention that allows visual and statistical comparison of what competitors have accomplished. Process interventions are effective because in the event an employee changes positions or new employees are added to the organization or department, the level of quality and completion will remain the same because the overall process will still be intact. We asked all members of the receiving department to visit 2 external organizations of the same geographical and product production area for observation.
Understanding and analyzing the situation, we are implementing both on the process level, primary, and the team level, secondary, concurrently. The changes were implemented to highlight process improvements organization-wide to help create goals to have created for management for new implementation for receiving practices. Follow-up meetings will follow to determine if the goals have been met for process improvements. Benchmarking process improvements must be continuous for their organization to be successful during implementation. Scannable barcode systems with RFID labels for easy receiving have been implemented. RFID label guns for quick inventory updates, specific inventory location designed with kitting kits, new inventory labeling location system designed, and overflow inventory location was designed.
Evaluation. We chose to use Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of evaluation by performing short production surveys, requesting random assembly demonstrations, reviewing observation reports from shift management, and reviewing production data to date. Doing so ensured all employees from the top down understood and utilized the changes in the departmental process. After we performed our evaluations, we met with the leadership team to emphasize the importance of adoption and the ways they can aid in the process. While we know that throughout time changes will be made to the procedures and suggestions may arise, we are confident that the overall standard of quality will not be compromised because the core of these procedures and service checks are set. Since JS Firms is an external entity, we decided after the leadership team agreed to monitor and assist with the adoption was a good time for the separation process. J&S OD Consultants followed up by having a 3-month after action review with Aerospace United Systems to discuss overall progress and close the file officially. To summarize this presentation, J&S Organizational Development Consultants were contracted to assist Aerospace United with its internal organizational issues. After entering into a contract, J&S realized that the organization's receiving department was performing below the standard of its competitors and its safety practices were not up to code. J&S decided a process intervention would be the best fit to implement change for this organization. After having members of the receiving department benchmark in the area, J&S were able to suggest new and updated equipment to help with performance, update safety measures to ensure all working standards are met, and increase production departmentally. After several meetings with the organization's internal support and general manager, it has been noted that positive growth has occurred and the leadership team ensures that these processes will be upheld. This concludes our presentation of Benchmarking Process Interventions by Desiree Johnson and Stephanie Sideth.